First, I want to say thank you to Tanzania for having us. This is a lovely spot, and I don't think we have anyone from the ministry here this morning because they're literally in the midst of introducing HPV. So, oh my, if I breathe, it really gets quite intense. So anyhow, wanted to say a big thank you to them. As he said, I'm Kathleen Goodman, and I work in vaccine delivery at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and focus on strategy and innovation for our work in immunization. And I'm really excited to be here. Are any mountain climbers in the room? Anybody a mountaineering type? Oh, at least one. How about anyone who's actually walked up Mount Kilimanjaro? Oh, a handful. Okay. Well, for those of you who do know something about this, I apologize in advance. As we were talking about kicking off today's meeting, I am not a mountaineer, but we were talking about using the metaphor of if you were attempting to climb a big mountain like Kilimanjaro or even Everest. And thinking about some of the things that you would do to prepare. The first is you'd learn some about mountaineering. You might go to a class or pick up a book or talk to some people who've done it before. And do as much as you could to learn about it. And if you think back to the first Teach to Reach meeting in 2015, that's sort of what we were doing. We talked to a lot of experts about kind of cutting edge practices in the field of training and learning about new adult learning methods, and imagining a future approach to immunization training, taking some of the best of that with us. And these are actually some of the cards that you who were there created. We generated a lot of ideas and insights. One of them is the 70-20-10 rule, or really the emphasis of on the job as the primary way that people learn, creating a learning culture, and so on and so forth. And then, now that we've learned a little bit about mountaineering, we started to train and get some equipment, maybe a tent, maybe some new shoes, doing a lot of walking and carrying heavy things. And taking the metaphor further, if you think about the meeting in Barcelona in 2016, this is a little bit of what we did. We started to practice some of these ideas. We started to pick up ways to apply learnings. And some of you actually since then have begun a few things. And shout out for the poster session tonight. If you want to see what folks are up to, please check out some of the wonderful posters that people have put together. So anyway, we did our preparing. And now, here we are today, ready to set out. So why I share that is that this meeting is slightly different than the others in that we're really starting to look at how we put one foot in front of the other and begin to climb. So this year we've got an action orientation. We're going to be working on making specific plans and then getting the support to be ready to act. Now, as we put one foot in front of the other, there's a lot of different ways that we'll do this. One, you'll be working in groups almost more than in the last few Teach to Reaches. We'll be focused on defining the challenges, brainstorming solutions, and then putting specific action plans together. And we'll also have some time to break and recharge. On any good hike, you need to take a rest every now and then. So we'll have a really fun dinner tomorrow night. Make sure you come. And the other thing, too, that's sometimes helpful when you're climbing is having some energy boosters, like granola bars or those goo packets or whatever. And so there are some subject matter experts around the room in their t-shirts who will serve as your boosters if you get stuck or lose your way, etc. So you should have all the resources you need as we climb. And then eventually we will reach the summit. So by the end of this meeting, we hope that you leave this workshop with a real plan. One that you can start on Monday working on and actually putting into action. You'll know you're there when you're saying to your group, you know what, you guys, you can count on me. In the next 2 weeks, I'm going to fill in the blank. So please keep that orientation as we start to hone in on our action planning on Thursday. And so without that, let's get going. I wanted to, before we jump in, just say a few thank yous to the folks who got us here. We had an advisory committee, so for those of you in the room who participated in that, a huge thank you for your input and helping to shape all of this. We also wanted to thank Debbie and the events folks and Linksbridge for doing all the orchestrating to help make the next few days possible. We had a number of subject matter experts, speakers, and facilitators here in the room who are going to be a huge part of our journey. So I wanted to say a thank you to them as well. And then a huge shout out to Amanda, who has put a lot of heart and soul into shaping this and weaving together all the needs and inputs from all of you. And so thank you, Amanda, for kicking off Kick Butt Teach to Reach. All right, and I'm excited to see where we go. So without further ado, Teach to Reach.